Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Manic Monday edition of The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras, in California. But hey, as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
No, here I am on the East Coast, the coast with the most. My name is Mike Poworski. I will try to be bringing to you the information along with Craig today, where we give you 2A news and conservative views here on Monday's edition of The Rundown.
Yes, sir, Bob. Yes, sir, Bob. Hey, folks, first of all, I want to apologize for the end of last weekend. Unfortunately, I was at a conference in San Diego, of all places, and unfortunately, it was very, very difficult to find a solid Wi-Fi connection that would allow our high-powered program to actually be functional.
You know why? Because remember what I told you last week about San Diego? They're only worried about a couple of things there, Craig. All they need are some tasty waves, a cool buzz, and they're just fine.
It does feel like that. It did feel like that sometime, but we had a very good time while we were there in San Diego. Learned a lot. You know, with California's education direction and the direction they're trying to take it, there's a lot that you have to deal with and root through. But all that having been said, had a good time in San Diego.
Good to hear. Good to hear, sir. That's always sounds like it's moving forward. Does that mean there's going to be some nice conservative, agendas now instead of the liberal garbage going on in the California public school system?
Well, I can't speak for every school district, but I can say that where I am a school board member, we will be focusing on our core mission, which is the education of the childrens.
There you go. Right, education to children. That's how unique, how different. You know.
I know not a lot of school districts in California are doing that. Sadly, too
No,
many are
definitely.
focused on a bunch of other stuff.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Well, good. I'm glad you had a good weekend. I went to a country music concert. It was
Nice.
a veterans tribute, veterans salute. I don't really, like some old music, old rock is a kind of, I guess, where my allegiance would be, right? But when somebody says, "Hey, we want to send you to a country music festival, a country music show that's a tribute to veterans, we'd like you to be there," I went. So I was. I'm trying to remember if it was Eddie Montgomery from Montgomery Gentry, Clay
Right.
Walker, Trace Adkins was supposed to be there, but he got the COVID during the week, so he couldn't be there. So the headliner was Toby Keith. So we had
Interesting.
pretty good show and special guest appearance via video from 45th President Donald Trump.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. You should have seen this crowd. This crowd is probably close to 50,000 people when it was the former Attorney General of Florida, Pam Bondi,
Mm-hmm.
and she's one of the president's former aides.
Mm.
She got up on stage, welcome Florida, doing all the nice stuff. She said, "I got a special guest that wants to talk to you." And when Donald J. Trump got up on there, I mean, the crowd was just like, I mean, the best way I could describe it, Craig, is on the old Muppet Show when the Muppets would lose their heads and go, "Ah!" It was like that. People went crazy when he came on.
I got to tell you, I would. That's the reason why I would be surprised if he ran for president again, because I don't know that his stock will ever be higher than it is now. After one term, he can live in the lore that was the Trump presidency.
Listen, I will say this after talking to many of the people, because I was in with the organizers there at the event, that I have no information whatsoever that he's definitely running for president. I can confirm nothing. I can confirm nothing.
We shall see. We shall see. Well, hey, why don't we go ahead and let's go ahead and get into today's news story, shall we? Because I think the first one starts with actually some results from the last election. Those of you, well, folks, you may or may not remember, there was kind of a Republican revolution in the state of Virginia. That's right, in the state of Virginia, there appears to have been a bit of a coup, and that's because, well, the Virginia GOP completes sweep of elections in the House recount. So they've done that recount there now in the House of for the races in the House of Representatives, and it appears that a 3-judge panel has ruled that the Republican candidate won, and therefore Republicans will now be in charge of both houses of the Virginia
No,
legislature, as well
no.
as the governorship there in Virginia. What say ye, Mikey?
I say we got the facts wrong on that when it's the Senate is still held by the Democrats,
Oh,
21-19.
I stand
Um,
corrected. You're right. I just saw that. My bad.
Now the election, they won every election that was up. They didn't have the opportunity to take the Senate because of the way the cycle fell.
Right.
So there weren't enough Senate seats available for them to steal the Senate back. But they won every other aspect of the election. They won governor, they won lieutenant governor, they won attorney general, they won the House. Those were all the things up for grabs, and they took everything up for grabs.
I
They
stand
could not take
corrected.
this.
Thank you so very.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
Well, the headline there is very misleading. It says
Right.
that it's a sweep, right? Well, a
Right.
sweep would be everything. Well, they should have said sweep of everything available. So
Everything of there.
but yeah, but it's still tremendous news, Craig. I mean, it's incredible. They're taking the House is back. So listen, if the House puts something forward, the Senate says no. Guess what the governor gets to do? The governor can still sign it into law as long as it's coming through the House. He just has his finance people work on it rather than the Senate. So
Well,
they could bypass that state Senate there if they want to.
Actually, I think it has to pass both houses of the legislature. But what they do know is they don't have the ability to. He can do an executive order if he wanted, and
Correct.
They don't have the ability to overturn it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the 21-19, they do not have a super majority, so they
Right.
can they cannot go against the governor. There is what it is. Now,
So-
legally, obviously, if he does some weird executive order, they can go to the courts. But again, there's much more room on the state level for the House to move forward with the governor bypassing the Senate on many issues. So
Well,
it's great news.
I think it's
for,
a
Virginia IA.
message, at least there in Virginia, which has been very, very blue, that they're tired of whether it's the Biden administration, whether it's just the tactics and the plans of the left and the way in which they've governed over the last over the last year. Have proven to be a problem. Have proven to be problematic. I don't know that our nation had descended, had fallen so far, so fast. And I think people are waking up to the reality that we need a little bit of sanity, and that sanity comes in the way of conservative leadership.
Yeah, and that's it. Listen, and it's not like the Republicans went in and did a lot to get this stuff back. The Democrats pretty much just at every opportunity shot themselves in the foot. Coming out and saying you parents don't get any say at all in how we're going to raise your children in schools or what we're going to teach them. What? Really? You're going to come off completely as a socialist and going on communists?
Right.
You think that's going to hold? Sure, go ahead. Keep saying that stuff. Keep saying that stuff.
And that's the thing is, once again, going and proving that on the left, there is a battle within the left from the left and the far left. The anarchists and the liberals are fighting with one another. And the liberals, who are voters, are deciding that they don't like the anarchists. And they would rather side with the conservatives than the anarchists.
Yeah, and it's we've gotten so far away from what Democrats. I'm not even going to say what Democrats originally were. I'm going to say what Democrats were one generation ago, Craig. Like our high school days kind of stuff.
Right.
Where Democrats were, big social programs and government within our own borders, and then weak on foreign policy. And now they're, like you said, they've gone from Democrats to liberals to anarchists. They just completely going the opposite direction from everything that the Democrat Party was stood for. Not to mention 2-3 generations go back to a Kennedy, or even further than that, back to a Roosevelt. It's unrecognizable as much of the country would be today as if Lincoln was walking around.
Yeah. No, dude, you're 100% correct. I like to say there was a time when you had big government liberals versus limited government conservatives. Now you have anarchist leftists that are the ones who are controlling a big chunk of the day. Well, let me clarify. They're not the majority in the Democratic Party, but they are the most vocal. And for some reason, leadership believes they're the ones that need to be listened to, probably because they tend to be the younger group. And they're afraid that that's the future of their party. They're afraid that the only way in which to continue to be relevant is by becoming like them.
Yeah, exactly. And why for the most part, the GOP remains the same. It is a limited, government here at home and strong foreign policy. Now,
Well,
strong foreign policy doesn't mean we send a lot of people overseas either. It just means we have a strong foreign policy. We don't just
Well,
turn our
okay, I'll
backs against
disagree
the
with
world.
you in this, in that there is a wing of the Republican Party that believes in order for us to win, we have to be more like the Democrats. Meaning we have to be we have to be weak on social issues. We cannot stand for traditional family. We have to be quote unquote woke in some areas. We have to be enviro wackos, right? They're believe it or not, and I know them because they tend to run the California Republican Party. So just
Well, then
so
you
you
need to
know.
let them know, Craig, that they are not Republicans. That's
Well, they're not
that's
conservatives. They call it. They're all you have to do to be a Republican is be registered Republican. But you're right; they don't represent Republican values.
there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our next story. Bam! There we go. Nevada court sides with gun makers in Las Vegas mass shooting. Now, as you know, that some folks have decided to sue gun makers there in the state of Nevada because of the shooting that took place there at the Las Vegas Strip. Now, the point behind this lawsuit was to basically say that, well, they made these guns that were then used in this shooting, so therefore we are going to sue them. And well, the Nevada Supreme Court ruled that gun manufacturers cannot be held responsible for those deaths, which basically they ruled according to the law.
Yeah, the lawsuit alleged that the gun manufacturers knew that the guns could easily be converted into firearms that would then become illegal or would mirror, full automatic weapons. Now, let me step back for a moment. Owning an automatic firearm is not necessarily illegal if you've done the extra paperwork and waited the time. But they were alleging that our bad man here bought these firearms illegally, bought these firearms knowing that he could illegally convert them to fully automatic or simulated fully automatic, and that should have violated the law. And Nevada, I think, did exactly what we should have seen happen in Connecticut, what we're still waiting to see happen in California. They said, "Hey, our law, just like the federal law, the lawful acts of commerce laws that say nope, the firearm was purchased legally, it was done legally, everything was done properly. There was no illegal acts done during the sales. They weren't produced illegally, and they did not malfunction in any way from their design. So this lawsuit has no merit and was dismissed."
Yeah, seems like it would make sense. I mean, for example, what if the families of some of the individuals who were killed or injured as a result of the massacre that took place in Wisconsin? What if they decided they wanted to sue the car manufacturer and say, you know what, you knew this car could be rammed into people, so therefore we're going to now sue you because this car was used in a way in which it was not intended. And that's really what it comes down to, is that they're trying to sue somebody for someone using their product in a way that was not intended. And I'm glad to see that the court ruled according to the law and common sense.
Yeah, I think it's. I hold on before. It's the Protection for Lawful Arms and Commerce Act.
Yes.
Is the federal law, and again, most states have a. It's not as specific, but it's more of a product liability law. And they said,
Right.
listen, it was like I said, it was sold legally. It was not. It was used illegally after being purchased legally. Just like the example you've given for the motor vehicle there in Wisconsin. Although,
Right.
according to CNN, it's the car's fault up there. So maybe
Well,
we will get the lawsuit against the car manufacturer.
of course, it's the car. It's always the car's fault. Well, at least it's always the gun's fault.
That's right. You see, at least they're being consistent now. At least they're being
Yes,
consistent.
at least they are being consistent. All right, let's move on to
Their
our
study,
next topic.
I have a preview of their next study, Craig. It says that spoons make people fat. Yeah, that's the cause of it.
and pencils misspell, or
No,
keyboards.
that's
No
next
one
week's
writes
story.
anymore.
Yeah,
Keyboards
that's
misspell.
next. That's 2 stories down the road. Yep, but it's on the table. Yep.
All right, let's move on to AOC. So AOC does not want to. Basically, AOC is saying that the smash and grabs that have been taking place in California and now in other places across the country, she's saying that well, the smash and grabs aren't a real thing. That they are fabricated. She's trying to say, I believe it's Walgreens in California, but the data didn't link up, she said. In other words, she's saying that Walgreens is closing these stores, but it's not really a thing. They're not really coming together and robbing these places. Now, Mike, am I wrong, Mike, or do you all you have to do is pull up the video that is everywhere on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram of people smashing and grabbing these stores to know that it's happening?
Well, Craig, we know that the videos can be faked, right? Just like the moon landing, just like the videos showing that the Earth is round. You know, we know that those videos can be faked. She's a nut. She's a whack job. I was trying to look on my notes here. I couldn't find it. The name of the former police officer from Northern California that was killed during the mass robberies last week, or the mass retail thefts last week. I guess his death is fake also, right? I guess that 20-year veteran and his family, they're faking it as well. She's crazy. She's a whack job. She's going to say whatever she can get, and that's the way she goes. Oh, by the way, I did talk to many of my family and cousins, and we did is confirm she was our bartender when we were up there about 8 years ago for a bachelor party.
Well, evidently she's been taking a few herself.
Yeah, she's been taking a few shots to the head. She got concussion syndrome going on there, because that girl just straight crazy now.
I don't know how you can deny what is obviously right there in front of your face. These things are in fact happening, and some of them aren't even necessarily smash and grabs. Some of them are just people just walking in and leaving with stuff, and that's the other thing you should realize. Those big smash and grabs that we're seeing, that's just the high profile stuff. There are people every day. You walk into these stores, there are people every day that are just going in and walking out with stuff, and that's not an uncommon thing. That's always in some of these communities. That's always been a thing. Now they're just not trying to be sneaky about it. They're just walking in and walking out with it, without doing much in the way of trying to hide it. And here's the thing: it ultimately comes down to this, and it comes down to the fact that if you are going anything you are willing to, anything that you allow, you will not change. If you are not going to prosecute these individuals, then guess what? They're going to continue to push the line. They're going to continue to do it. And that's the interesting thing, Mike, that in California, you have the governor of California, who is, in essence, he's blaming the locals. He's saying, look, you local mayors, if you guys aren't prosecuting these people, I'm going to blame you. It's all your fault. Now, mind you, dude, this is the same governor who has signed legislation that basically is changed the entire bail system and made it so that, it's almost impossible to keep someone in prison once they get out. It's the Democratic Party. It was his predecessor who decriminalized a lot of crime and took all of the people who were in state prison and put them in county prisons, and took the people who were in county jail and put them out on the streets. It was Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom and Jerry Brown who were all part of the smart on crime, right, movement, which basically saw crime starting from the 2013 forward start going up for the first time in more than 20 years. He was a big part of that.
Yeah, there's the hypocrisy, the glass house that this guy must live in. He says things like, it's the local prosecutor's fault and the local police force's fault that these people are not being arrested and are allowed to be run free. Meanwhile, he's the one that, like you just said, took away the bail for all of these, the bond requirements. He took away or changed the law. It used to be, depending on the location, anywhere from $100 to $300 before that retail theft became a felony. Well, now that level's been raised to $950. They cite in there, Craig, that the level of theft has gone down 7.7% based on the number of charges being filed and the convictions that they're getting. Well, I'll tell you why it's gone down 7.7%, because they're not arresting them anymore. They're letting them do their thing. Police officers that are short manpower as it is are not going to go into cities, arrest some guy who took $500 worth of stuff, knowing that it's going to be a misdemeanor charge before he's even done writing the report. The guy's going to be released from prison and back out and doing again, or released from the county jail on no bond status. Excuse me, zero bond. Not they had to, it's a no bond, but he had zero bond required, zero bail money required to get out. So they're going to be released on their own recognizance and be back out on the streets. So they're not, it's not that the crime has gone down 7.7%. It's that they've stopped filing 50% of the charges. They're not doing it. It's a waste of their time.
Right. Well,
and the governor says, well, they should work harder and stack charges. Guess what? Stacking charges, really? Now you want to get the ACLU involved? You want to get the federal courts involved because now you're violating civil rights? You want to do that? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that.
Well, you know what, Mike? Here's the other thing, though, that I'll point out. There was a Proposition 47, which took a lot of crimes that used to be felonies and turned them into misdemeanors, and raised the level. Basically said that if you steal anything less than $950, it's a misdemeanor, which basically you'll get an infraction, you'll get a ticket, and you'll show up to court. But Mike, part of it is the voters voted for that. So part of it, and by the way, the voters who voted for it primarily were the folks in the San Francisco Bay Area and in Los Angeles. So to a certain degree, they're getting what they deserve. And not what they deserve. They're getting what they voted for. I'll put it that way. We need to understand that if we're not going to be tough on crime, then crime is going to be tough on us.
That's right. That's right. There's a few colleges around the country experiencing that right now too, that we took a look at. You know?
Yes, there are a number of colleges that are standing up and they're saying, oh, well, this is horrible and this is going on, that's going on. Now, these are the same colleges that have professors who are preaching the smart on crime tactics, the decriminalized crime tactics that we're seeing happen in the blue states of these United States. And as a result, we're getting what we're getting.
Yeah, exactly right. And they voted these things in and agreed with them when it didn't affect them, because these are coming from Ivy schools and they had walls and barriers that kept them protected. But now you got murders going on and shootings going on in those areas, and now they're like, oh, we have to do something about this. We need protection. Yeah, guess what? When it's just the people voting Democrat, you don't mind because they're out in the hood, right? But now that now that it's coming into your elite school areas, now it's an issue for you.
Right. Nope. Can't deal with it. Okay, let's go on to our next story. You guys, you'll love this one, Mike. All right, so we got Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen has decided that, he's got a special out, and it's what's it called? It's called Santa. Where's it at?
I haven't even heard of it.
It's called Santa Inc., and it's on HBO Max, and it's about a female Santa. She's supposed to be the highest ranking female Santa, right? Well, it's got like 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, meaning absolutely positively nobody likes this show. And as a result, Seth Rogen is blaming white supremacy for the fact that nobody likes his new program.
Yeah, amazing.
White supremacy strikes again.
I think maybe what he should be blaming it on is that he sucks. His humor is adolescent, drug humor, high school kind of humor, alcohol humor, which is good. He made, what was that in the original movie? The drunk high school kids. It was a good movie, and but that's what it was. That's what it's focused on. Now that he's trying to get all deep in everything, he can't get in. He can't get any movies to stick, and this is just another example of, well, listen, my kind of humor evidently is not sticking anymore, so it must be white supremacy. Craig, just like you and I said, every time I make an argument and when I can't make a point, I'm just going to blame racism. Well, here he is. Yeah, that's the only thing he's got left. Movie sucked. Production value is horrible. Sarah Silverman, not a great actress. Not received well. Not produced well. Oh, it must be white supremacy.
And? What's your point?
Yep.
Clearly it's white supremacy, because in the end, white supremacy is, white supremacy is now, I've come to realize, in their eyes, it is every time I don't get what I want, it's white supremacy. And that's what it is. It doesn't really matter who you are. If you're on the left, if you are part of the victim class, then we blame everything on white supremacy. Unfortunately, Mike, you are a straight, heterosexual, white male. So therefore, you don't get to claim white supremacy because, according to the left, you are white supremacy.
Yeah, yeah, I am a white supremacist. And Superbad was the movie I was trying to think of. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's
So now he has a
good.
new movie out on HBO Max, and it's not super bad. It's just super bad.
It's not super bad. It's just super bad. The thing is that his type of humor only lasts so long. There's only so many different of those very same jokes that you can pull, and
He's
it's good. It's a novelty for a moment, but then eventually people get tired of it, and that's what it is. People are tired of his antics.
the people I know that have had the opportunity to meet him. Well, one, he's a stoner from Canada. He's a
Right.
Vancouver stoner, is what he is. Not that all people from Vancouver are stoners. I'm not trying to
And
stereotype
not that all
Vancouver.
stoners are from Canada.
That's right. Been to Canada many times. Been to Vancouver many times. But they say he's one of them like stinky level stoners. Like he's such a stoner and such a hippie that baths are. You don't need a bath, man. We just live with the breeze. And they say he smells. So
Oh, well, there you go.
just facts. Just facts as I
There you
know them.
go.
That's
A Canadian stoner or California homeless. No
that's
difference.
it. Yep. He's got that dirty hippie smell to him.
All right, Mike. Well, let's move on to today's parting shot. See if I can get it up here real quick.
Whoa.
We all know that, natural disasters happen all over the world, all over the place, right? In Florida, you have hurricanes. In California, we have wildfires, and
Yeah.
seldom, but we have earthquakes, and
Not
then sometimes mudslides. But there is one, I don't know if you'd call it a natural disaster, but it is a disaster that has occurred over these entire United States. And no, I am not talking about COVID. I'm talking about the Biden administration.
mm-hmm.
So, which disaster? Fire, floods, hurricanes? The Biden administration.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about filing a claim. And when they indicate what losses have I had, I'm going to say I've lost 20% of my salary at a minimum. It's just that's my loss. Well, what caused it, sir? Well, your freaking welfare and social programs, and the build it bigger, better, badder, bitchin' bridges now, or whatever the name of it is.
Right. Build back better. I still
I know,
don't get
I know it had a
that
lot
is
of bees in it.
literally, I still don't get exactly what it is they're trying to get at with that.
Well, we're trying to get at. We have to build it back better by giving $500,000 to the Ukrainians. Because we get the bridge from the White House to the Ukraine. Evidently, going to rebuild.
Yeah, well, Hunter Biden's taking the lead on that project.
He's also building the China Tunnel. Don't forget that.
All right, Mike. Well, hey, it's about that time. How about a shout out to our sponsors?
Let's say hey to our good friends at Guerrilla Machining, Grid Defense, and of course the California Republican Assembly. Now, those guys, they know what it means to be a Republican.
Yes, most definitely do. And by the way, folks, if you are a member, I think it's pretty much around renewal time. So you're probably getting emails saying, hey, it's time to renew. So make sure you guys renew your membership and encourage others to actually join the organization. It is the Republican wing of the Republican Party here in the state of California. Let's make California red again.
Yeah,
With that,
let's do it. And I'm
let's
not
do it.
talking about with the wildfires either.
Exactly. Well, there you go. No, not with the wildfires. And
No.
with that, I want to encourage y'all. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the program, and encourage your friends to do the same. Tell them this is the spot every Monday through Friday at was it 5 p.m. West, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. on the West Coast. Check us out. This is the place to be. We really want to have you guys be a part of the conversation. With all of that, you guys take care, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow on Taco Tuesday.
Yum, 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 yum.